Fourth one. This is Boogie in the Morning. Arlene is here. Good morning, Arlene.
Morning.
Good morning. And we've got this thing going on. Our latest challenge is a stand-up comedy challenge. It's girls 2, boys 0. So we've picked something that boys are much better than girls at for the next challenge, and that's telling jokes. Stand-up comedy. And I have my mentor here, Mr. Craig Hill.
Hello.
Good morning. Welcome to the show. Welcome back.
I'm glad to be of service.
Now, Craig, the last time we had you on was last year during the Fringe, when you hosted the Fourth One Fringe show.
Yes, which I very much enjoyed, I have to say. It was a laugh a minute.
Now, you've kindly agreed to be my mentor.
Yes, I think someone needed to
Got your
help,
work
didn't
cut
they?
out for you, Craig.
I'm quite interested. I'm really quite genuinely interested.
Okay, now, the reason I picked you as my mentor, Craig, is because obviously you're one of Edinburgh's most famous comedians, if not the most famous comedian from Edinburgh. You've done the Fringe for how many years now?
11 years.
11 years, and so you've done this.
I should know what I'm doing by now.
You're fully paid up professional.
Yes, yes.
So how did you get into it? How did you start your first ever stand-up gig?
Probably pretty much like you're getting into it. Somebody pushed me into it. Somebody booked a gig for me without telling me.
No way.
That's how it happened. Somebody said I was funny. They booked a gig for me, and I was going to back out. It was at the Go de Balloon, and the Go de Balloon said you can back out right up until the minute before you get on stage. So then there was no reason to cancel it because I knew I could cancel it just a second before.
Yeah.
And the guys who went on before me, and this should help you confidence-wise, got absolutely nothing.
Really?
Yeah. And I thought, well, the worst I could do is get nothing. Do you know what I mean? And I think the most important thing you've got to think before you start it at all is everyone has died. It's actually okay to die. As long as you lose a bit of that fear of dying, it won't be so terrifying. So don't think, oh God, I'm going to die now because I've died on stage. You'll be fine. You will survive. That's the ironic thing about dying. You survive.
Have you ever been heckled, and what was it like the first time you got heckled?
Oh, it was like smooth chocolate going down my throat. I love being heckled. I really love being heckled because I tell you what, Boogie, if you're quick, which I think you are actually, because you do enough radio, I think if you're quick, you'll come back with something, you'll surprise yourself.
Really?
Yeah, the main thing is not to be frightened of hecklers.
So you don't have some stock lines up your sleeve?
No, a lot of comedians do that. I don't believe in doing that. I think if you're witty, you're witty. You should be able to think in the moment. But I think what happens is, if somebody gives you a wee bit of a heckle, don't think of it as them trying to ruin the show, because some comedians do think that. I think they're joining in. So you just end up, think of it as patter. Frankie Boyle once said to me, try and think of it as a bit of a chat. It doesn't have to be a laugh a minute. It can be quite conversational, and then the comedy comes out of that. So don't think of too much pressure to always be funny. You can make it sincere. That's one of the most important things I would say to you. Make it really look in their eyes, and when you chat to the audience and they laugh, actually enjoy them laughing and look at them and let that feed the next line you do. So you end up going, oh, that was lovely. And then your face is kind of into the thing. Your face is really important. Your face has to be really relaxed.
Okay, well, I've certainly got a funny face, that's for sure.
I can see that. Yeah. Great for radio. Great for radio.
But that was going to be one of my first questions, well, because I've got nothing, right? I don't have any routine.
You have nothing. There's a song for every moment, isn't there?
But I genuinely don't. I don't have any idea where I'm going to start. I've got no idea about the middle, and I don't know where I'm going to end. Now, do you go in with, because I've seen you doing your show. I've seen you at the festival several times. Last year at Fourth One on the Fringe. You didn't tell jokes. You don't tell jokes, do you?
No, I don't. To be honest, most comedians don't tell jokes. I think that's why comedy has become so popular, because not one single comedian could repeat another person's material. Yeah. Materials become very personal and very about what your life is actually like. So my little top tip is, the things that you're phoning your friends with at the end of the day or the next day going, you should have seen what happened on Saturday. Those are the things you should be telling on stage. So I always follow my instinct. And most of my shows are written like that. They're usually based on something that really happened to me. And have a wee dictaphone. Pop up to John Lewis, they're not too expensive. Buy a small one, and have a wee digital one, because you can put it online and that's a cut and paste. It's amazing. But no, if you buy a wee dictaphone, there are some precious things that happen to you that you completely forget about that are absolutely hysterical. Like the other day when a wee guy came up to me on 3 o'clock in the morning as I was walking home down Broughton Street, and a wee guy came up to me really nervous, ran out of a taxi, stopped the taxi to run across the road and say to me, nervously, he quite fancied me, and this is this chat up line, he went, do you want to get some chips? I'm not joking.
How could you resist?
Do you want to get some chips? And then I said, I think Pizza Picante's closed. And he said, well, can you give me your number and get some chips tomorrow? And I said, we don't need to get chips. But there were things that really happened to you, I think, and the audience know that as well. When you tell a story that really happened to you, tell it in a different way. You tell it with much more conviction. So I think try and choose, depending on how you want to write. But my thing is I would start with that. Start with anything you've said to somebody quite by accident that they laughed at, include that in. Try and retell it. Don't be afraid of the silence. When I started and when most comedians start, they kind of kept talking really fast. They don't even leave a gap for anything at all because they're so nervous, and then and you can see it in their face. They're so nervous. What I do is get your first laugh. That's probably my best piece of advice. When you get your first laugh, use that as your breather. When they laugh,
yeah.
But don't be afraid. And actually, the other thing I learned is your face is really funny, especially yours. But your face is much funnier than you realise. I had Spanish girls in the audience who were laughing the whole way through a gig, and I went up to them afterwards and said, did you have a nice time? They went, we don't speak English. I said, you were laughing the whole way through. We laughed at your face. And then you realise your face is actually funnier.
I mean, I've done on stage stuff, but it's never comedy. And I just can't imagine going out there and having to be funny.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's most people's greatest fear, isn't it? The idea of going on stage and doing comedy. But I think the closer you get to being what you're like in real life,
I think
the better it'll be. And the more you think of it as just chatting to a bunch of pals. And actually, it's funny because I think some audiences get nervous as well, and they kind of they do stop and think.
Well, they feed off your nervousness.
Well, and they kind of go, "Oh God, is this person going to be funny?" But actually, if you, I used to tell when I first started comedy, I talked to a few people and I was saying, sometimes instead of being really scared, it's actually quite good to think, I'm quite looking forward to meeting them. Mm-hmm. If you think of it like that, it just becomes like, maybe a bit of or I'm going to try and have a bit of a laugh actually. Yeah. And it is a buzz when you get your first laugh because you are nervous, you don't know if you're going to get one. But when you get your first laugh, it's like, oh my God, I got a laugh. And if it never happens again in my whole life, I got one. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Thanks for coming in today, Craig. What we'll do, maybe we'll try and get together another time as you're my mentor. I kind of see our relationship as a bit like Alexandra and Cheryl Cole.
Well, yeah, I do see it, and I think I might be Cheryl. I think you should see me. Oh, by the way, I was going to say you should see me in heels. I'm actually having a party on Saturday, and I'm dressing up in heels. I am. You should see my legs.
Really?
Oh,
honestly, I can imagine.
I've never known such comfort.
Craig Hill, it's been lovely having you on your show. We'll try and get together again before.
Yeah, definitely. I'd be happy to do that. Because then you'll have specific questions.
Then I'll have some.
You could run some of it past
me. I'll run some of it past you the next time you're on.
Okay. Definitely. I'll tell you where to leave gaps.
Thanks for coming in, Craig.
Thank you.